Hey guys, let's get more news about Steelers, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Former Pittsburgh Steelers safety makes surprise appearance in Cobra Kai from the Pittsburgh Steelers to the big screen. Believe it or not, a lot of former Steelers players have had cameos and other appearances in TV shows and movies. Troy Polamalu had one recently in Moana 2, and now, his former running mate Ryan Clark made an appearance on a TV show, too. In the new season of Cobra Kai, Clark comments on the Seikai Taikai World Championship alongside Fox play-by-play announcer Kevin Burkhardt. Clark is a noted fan of the show, so this connection occurring feels natural with the sports slant. Currently an analyst at ESPN, Clark appears across all ESPN platforms as an analyst and has carved out quite a career for himself in the media world. On top of his ESPN duties, Clark is the host of the Pivot podcast and regularly has noteworthy guests on the show. This is the latest expenditure for Clark. Clark played with the Steelers from 2006 to 2013, winning a Super Bowl with the team. Over his career, Clark made one Pro Bowl in 2011 and became known as one of the most fearsome hitters of his generation. Billboard and commercial buyers can turn in their terrible towels. We've reached the point where we need a differentiation between Steelers Nation and Steelers fans. Because many members of the tribe are no longer recognizable as fans of the black and gold, their rhetoric is no different, and in many cases, even harsher than what one would expect from a Browns or Ravens fan. Two instances this week prove that Pittsburgh has passed the tipping point. First, Ramanel Law Group bought local airtime during the Super Bowl to air a poorly produced commercial that only throws shade on head coach Mike Tomlin. Then, the producer of the terrible tailgate paid for a billboard on the Boulevard of the Allies calling for Art Rooney to either trade Tomlin or sell the Steelers. Fans don't have to agree with every decision the team and coaches make. They don't have to be satisfied with the Steelers' performances on the field, both individually and collectively. But the social media era has taken big parts of this fan base beyond the pale, and it's time for these fans to turn in their towels. No Steelers fan is celebrating the recent lack of playoff success. That bears repeating. No one is happy with the playoff losses over the past 8 years. But the team is far from sell the team /fire the Hall of Fame coach territory. People throw around words like mediocre, but Pittsburgh has been a playoff team for 7 of the past 10 years. In this current Steelers' dark age, only Kansas City and Buffalo have more wins. Meanwhile, before this season, Denver hadn't made the playoffs since 2015. The Chargers qualified 3 times since 2009. Jacksonville has done it twice since 2007. The Raiders did it twice since 2002. Miami is 0-5 in the playoffs since 2001. The Jets haven't participated in the postseason since 2010. Those are all better definitions of the word mediocre. The biggest ammunition for those demanding changes at the top is Pittsburgh's 0-5 record in their last 5 playoff appearances. However, these losses can be chalked up to player performances. 2 turnovers and a failed 4th down against Jacksonville in 2018. 4 interceptions and a botched snap from center against Cleveland in 2021. A red zone pick and a George Pickens fumble against Buffalo in 2024. Overpowered by Kansas City and Baltimore in 2023 and 2025. Ultimately, it's caused Mike Tomlin to have a losing record in the playoffs. But Bill Cowher would also have a losing postseason record if not for a miracle Roethlisberger shoestring tackle or a missed Mike Vanderyacht 46-yard field goal. There's something that the Rooneys understand that many fans don't. Mike Tomlin is sticking around despite the playoff losses. It's what he brings to the organization 24/7/365 that makes him a Hall of Fame coach. He single-handedly attracts the best players, as evidenced by the recent signings of Russell Wilson and Patrick Queen, plus the Justin Fields trade. He still motivates everyone, from an undrafted rookie to a grizzled veteran. In December, former offensive tackle Willie Colon described how Tomlin saved his life. In 2023, then 49ers receiver Ray McCloud said, "Besides my Lord and Savior, Coach T saved me." Just earlier this month, Russell Wilson explained why he calls Tomlin the best coach of all time. "I often hear that everyone is entitled to their own opinion, but I tend to disagree on what exactly an opinion is. Saying Polamalu is my favorite Steelers player is an opinion. Saying, fire Tomlin, is, at best, an uninformed opinion, in the same vein as saying your opinion is the earth is flat. If you truly believe Rooney should sell the team or Tomlin should be fired, that's fine, but those beliefs are uninformed or maybe more accurately, misinformed opinions. At this point, the Rooney way is the Tomlin way is the Steelers way. I celebrate this. You don't have to. But if your entire online personality is to trash the Tomlin way, you belong in a different category than a fan. Maybe we should remove the negative stigma from the term fair-weather fan, and embrace the label for those of us who are only happy when Pittsburgh wins championships. But if you're spending good money on public displays of temper tantrums like billboards or Super Bowl spots, turn in your towel. Steelers' interest in Trevor Lawrence screams exactly what many fans already feel: it wouldn't be an offseason without the usual buzz and rumors swirling around the Pittsburgh Steelers. The latest speculation? Reports surfaced suggesting the Steelers reached out to the Jaguars to inquire about Trevor Lawrence. While the truth of that claim remains uncertain, one thing is clear: Pittsburgh is tired of being stuck in quarterback purgatory in recent years. And quite frankly, so are the fans. They're not exactly thrilled at the prospect of Justin Fields or Russell Wilson returning to the team and being the starter in 2025, and it raises the question of what direction the team should truly take at quarterback moving forward. What are the realistic options at QB for the Steelers in 2025? It was a smart move for Omar to assess a team currently without a GM, with a new head coach, and coming off a rough season. I'm sure he'll be reaching out to other teams to get a sense of how they can make improvements. The top priority should be to strengthen the quarterback room and secure a true starting caliber QB. Last season, they signed Russell Wilson and traded for Justin Fields. Wilson's injury allowed Fields to start 6 games, giving him a full training camp to establish himself as the starter moving forward. While Fields had a respectable 4-2 record, he didn't separate himself enough to be considered the long-term solution. His performance didn't instill the confidence needed for the team to feel fully committed to him as their QB for the future. Then came Russell Wilson, whose play dipped dramatically toward the end of the season. Realistically, neither option feels exciting, but the Steelers have to do everything they can to improve the quarterback position. The most likely and feasible move is bringing back Fields, especially considering the likely cost. He could serve as a decent bridge quarterback, although it's clear he hasn't proven enough to be the long-term answer. A more strategic move could be to reach out to Matthew Stafford, bringing him in as a 2-year starter. This would allow the Steelers to draft a quarterback to learn under Stafford while still competing in the short window they have with their strong defensive core. Another possibility would be to make a run at Sam Darnold or keep an eye on whether a player like Geno Smith gets cut for any reason. At this point, everything should be on the table, but the most realistic and logical option remains bringing back Fields, even though the team clearly isn't fully confident in him. And are you a fan? What do you think of Trevor Lawrence's situation? Leave your opinion in the comments.